I think a social entrepreneur is a pioneer. A social entrepreneur is a leader. A social entrepreneur is a person with a vision.
It's a crazy person. No, seriously, a social entrepreneur, I think, has got a bit of insanity in him because you got this idea and you can make so much money if you just utilize it for yourself. Instead, you've got a moral conscience which overrides your entrepreneurial business person personality, even though you sometimes shoot yourself financially in the foot.
We need to shift some of our attention from the business as usual model. We need to use our entrepreneurial skills and capacities in innovative ways to direct these resources and creativity and skills into addressing some of these deeper social and environmental challenges.
It's a person who helps other people to make their business successful.
Okay, it is a new phrase, it is a new hot number. It's just a fancy word for a chief negotiator. You must at all times be able to be a tinkler, a beggar, every name in the book to get what it is that you want.
Ashoka supports social entrepreneurs in that we identify them at a stage when they are still starting off. We try to identify them in what we call the launch stage. That is a stage where they probably still have a full-time job, but they're doing this on the side and they're trying to get going. And in order to facilitate that, Ashoka gives them a living stipend, it's like venture capital, for a period of 3 years.
What that does is help them to focus on their program full-time. They don't have to worry about bringing bread into the home.
We use market-based solutions to scale up these programs so that they are income generating and they are also entrepreneurial opportunities and they also are of poverty alleviation. I was very excited when I got the call that I'm elected as an Ashoka Fellow. First thing that excited me was that, wow, I was going to be part of this huge family of social change makers in the world.
The problem that we find is all the money and all the focus at the moment is in the townships. Okay? No one's thinking about the pensioners. No one's thinking about the class that's just below the middle class that are living in the suburbs. And this is why the suburbs are in such a terrible state. Because no one's focusing on the suburbs. And that's where we come in and we specialize in that niche market, only in the suburbs.
The hardest part of being a social entrepreneur is the fact that you are blazing a trail. Others don't see the need because you're probably a few years ahead from everybody else. And it's a lonely thing. Very few people understand what you're doing, few people support you in what you're doing. You don't get a lot of money. Most of our fellows, you will find, has had a hard upbringing, or they had some trauma, some difficulty in their lives that gave them the tenacity and the vision to go on with this thing.
The person has to, obviously, to come up with a new idea, you have to be creative. They should have a vision, they should be visionaries, they should be goal-setting kind of people.
We have little shops, little corner shops that we call spaza shops. And he works with the owners of the spaza shops to help them to become economically viable.
We started buying the 44-gallon drums. What if we start with the drums and we put another one flat like this, and we use a solder, we weld it, then we open on the front of the top one for a glass, so that people may see inside the fridge. And many people were looking for it to buy. But we decided to give to the spaza shop owners.
The idea has to have social impact, unlike the business entrepreneur who will make money and generally use that money for themselves, or the basis of it is actually what he decides. The idea should be solving a problem within a community.
Our job is not to give people fish, it's not to teach them how to fish, it's to build a new and better fishing industry.
Sarah Luit is a very interesting person. The fishery industry in South Africa is very male dominated, but she taught women to fish.
Instead of paying out all the money one time, we would pay over a monthly period, so then women would be able to manage their money over a monthly period. The economic empowerment brought an empowerment of self also, because we've got women that they used to stay by their family in a shack at the back, or they used to stay in a room with a family. They now have their own plot and their own house. So that to me is success stories.
And a lot of the drive in terms of macroeconomic thinking is to, bring people into the economy, grow the economy, and give people who haven't had opportunity to benefit the opportunity to benefit, which makes a lot of sense. And of course, that's a key factor. The challenge is how to do that in such a way that we don't increase the ecological footprint in terms of our consumption capacities, and actually hasten our journey into unsustainability even faster. There is value in a sense of people living in a low ecological footprint. How do we increase the value of people's lives? Not only people who are, in a traditional sense, called poor. Surely these greater environmental social challenges that we're facing in the planet today are immense, they're huge, they're overwhelming. The social entrepreneurial vision, the social entrepreneurial leadership is giving us new ways to look at how and what business even is about.
The entire trick is to make these people independent, to empower these people in such a way that they can clothe and feed themselves and their families. Instead of you being seen as the great benefactor coming along with your thousands of dollars and buying these people food and clothing, and they become dependent upon you, and then where does that money go? For what purpose was that money spent? It goes down the drain.
When we receive with the right hand, we must also give with the left hand. We can only do that by really grounding ourselves in our communities and stop looking from outside for help. We need community. We need business. We need government. And it is only through that integrated collaboration that we can really solve the challenges that are facing not only South Africa, but the rest of Africa.